Hey, well, this is Bob. Bob's Daily Devo today, Friday, April the 7th, 2017. Today's word is struggle. The political correctness team does not believe that we should struggle. If you're having to do anything that causes you to have any discomfort whatsoever, well, obviously that is of the devil. That's horrible. We don't want anybody to have to struggle or work or peck out of an egg or break a sweat. No, we want everything to be easy cheesy, super easy, super cheesy, everything delightfully fun and free without any sort of struggle whatsoever. And of course, that's just not reality. God did not make us that way, and that's not the way that that He wants us to live our lives. Having a little bit of a struggle, having a little bit of work to do is certainly to be expected. We are not people who can live our lives without any sort of struggle. No, we need to have it builds strength, it builds character, and the Bible says to fight the good fight. We're in a battle, we're in a war. Oh, well, the war should be without any struggle, without any kind of stress. Good stress is fine. There is a good stress, there's a bad stress. So having, hi morning, good stress is okay. And having a little bit of struggle is okay. Obviously having bad stress that never ends, having no hope, having no answers, that would be just terrible. But it's almost as though, if you look at the movie WALL-E, big and large, everything supersized, everything done for you, never having to lift a finger, because the character in that movie, WALL-E, he was the person who he represented humanity. WALL-E did, because he was an independent thinker. He was not. Thank you, Miss Emma. So he was one that would not just go along with the program. Remember, foreign contaminant. They picked it up, and it's funny because that movie was really kind of a spark point in my life for a lot of stuff breaking down. Figures I haven't yawned once since 4 a.m., but here I am yawning now, and then I get my Devo going. But the whole idea there that the people just laid back, and then with the guy, he fell out of the chair, and stay where you are. A robot will come and get you up. And it was like WALL-E was like giving him a hand and got him on there. And then the captain finally was able to use his muscles to fight the bad robot, and there has to be a fight. There has to be a struggle. There has to be, it's killing marriages today. The idea that we don't have to struggle through marriage. Marriage should always be easy street. Marriage should always be perfect. Everyone should always be behaving exactly the right way, and never, ever, ever should we have any sort of a struggle, and that if your mate is having a tough time, that you should call them on it, and they should be. Human beings are not perfect. Human beings are not like machines. Machines always hum along at a certain decibel. Machines will always be exactly the same. Machines are always even-handed and perfect in how they administrate what they do, because machines don't have any feelings or emotions. Machines don't really get tired. Sometimes machines get tired; they kind of wear out. But as long as as long as you're just doing it the right way, and the machine's not overly stressed, then it should just continue to work. Well, I'm trying to think about this from a spiritual point of view, about this whole idea of struggle. And life is a struggle. Life, even when we were in the Garden of Eden, of course, and we were in the Garden of Eden, and that situation was pretty awesome. There was no sin. there was no sweat, there was no steam, and the the world was a different place then. There was, once sin came into the world, then we had real struggle, we had real battles. But before that, Adam and Eve, they still had to go out and pick. I don't think that the grapes just magically floated over into their mouth. I mean, I think they had to pick them up. They had to do things, action and doing. I just thought today that we should take a look at the whole concept or the idea of the fallacy that life should never be a struggle, and that if you're having any sort of a struggle, any sort of a challenge, any sort of a stretch, any sort of a point where you have to do something more than just enjoy. My therapist told me I've got to enjoy life. He said my happiness was the most important thing. I need to be happy. Happy. This isn't making me happy. I have to be happy. Well, that's not, the Bible doesn't say that we have to be happy. The Bible says we're going to have joy. And joy is different than happiness. Happiness is dependent upon our getting what we want, doing things the way we want to do them, and having everything the way that we expect it. Well, guess what? We're not always going to have everything the way that we expect it. It's not always going to be perfect the way that we want it. And life is not going to come together without challenges, without trial. In the Bible, James 1 says, "Consider it all joy, my brother, when you encounter various trials and temptations." That does not sound as though James is going for the lifestyle or the concept is politically correct now in this current era we're in now, where if you're struggling, then something's wrong. Get out of the struggle. Take a medication, take a pill, go see a therapist. Let's do something to end your struggles. We don't want anybody to have to struggle. We want to be able to just get there to the whipped cream and the cherry and to dive into the shake of awesomeness. And I love shakes, and I love cherries, and I love whipped cream. But I realize that if we just live off of cherries, whipped cream, and ice cream all the time, we're going to be just like the movie WALL-E. We're going to be floating along real big, just laying in chairs and just ballooning up. People need to work, they need to exercise, they need to struggle, they need to have some strain. And these things are good. There's a study that was done just a few days ago, really, it seems to me, and the NBC News talked about it. And they said that the seniors who have the best mental acuity, the seniors who know, hi, good to see you, the seniors who have the strongest aptitudes and the best health are the seniors who fight through, who push through, who don't give up. When people say, hey, you can't do this, or hey, you better not do that, or hey, you don't know how to do this, or hey, well, the seniors who fight past that and say, I'm going to learn to play the piano. I'm going to go ahead, even though I have aches and pains, I'm going to walk that 3-4 miles. Even though I have pains, I'm going to go ahead and spend time with my grandkids. Even though I have troubles, even though I have troubles, I'm not going to quit. Today's world, the society, the people that are around us, they want to quit. It's known as quitters. They want to be a quitter. Well, I'm not quitting. I'm just going to move something better. Well, that's fine if you want to, enjoy a better food, a better drink, a better, something better. That's different. But as far as human relationships, communication, as far as how we live our lives, struggle is going to be in there. So today, wherever you go, whatever you do, realize that there's going to be struggle. There's going to be challenge. There's going to be heartache. There's going to be problems. And it's not because we did something horribly wrong. It's because that's the way life's set up. And yes, there can be so many challenges and so many problems and so many things that come up. That morning, James, good to see ya. There can be so many things that come up that it's overwhelming. But even in the midst of the overwhelmingness, we learned that last week on Friday, a week ago today, when there was a electrical fire, and I was totally overwhelmed. I was totally blitzed. I totally had no idea how to solve, how to fix, how to do. There was just no way. Well, it really is true. I didn't yawn one time. You can ask the nurses there. I did not yawn one time, and now here I am. I'm Mr. Yawny here. I can't stop yawning. It's so funny. But I'm going to continue to fight on anyway. I'm gonna, keep going. So if struggle is part of life, then the Lord will help us. The Lord will fight for us. The Lord will. I heard this motorcycle attorney, been around since 1977, and call me because I'm in fight. That's real nice. But 73, really, 77, whatever it was. I mean, that's nothing. The Lord, before the foundation of the world, the Lord has fought for us. The Lord has been there for us, and I know that God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. Goodness and mercy will follow us all the days of our life. Think of all the best movies. It's not the movie where nothing happens and everything just goes smooth. That's not even interesting. No, the best movie is where there's a struggle and there's a challenge and there's a problem. And then there's a solution. Then they come up with an answer. Then they are able to overcome. And look at all the Rocky movies. Is the Rocky movie? Well, if there's any stress, if there's any struggle, well, you don't want to do that. We got a drug for you. We have a vacation for you. Go get a massage. Well, all that. Hey, morning, man. It's good to see you. So, yeah, it's real nice to think that everything's going to be so nice and cheesy all the time. But the fact of the matter remains that life is not always about having the cheesiest, sweetest, nicest, Krispy Kreme kind of a day. Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme. Sometimes life is not Krispy Kreme. Sometimes life is tough. So we need to be ready for that. All right, if you want to call me, let's have a talk. We'll continue the conversation. If you call me, 213-713-8954 or 8954-GREEN at att.net. On the Twitter, it's Mr. Bob at BobBob8951. Of course, you're watching Pasadena Bond Devotional on YouTube. We're going to be having a barbecue potluck coming up, so be sure to mark your calendar and tell me when it is that you'd like to have the barbecue potluck. Let me know when you want to have that, would you? And I'll be sure to do my best to schedule it at a time that makes sense for you. We just had a bunch of people over to the house just a few days ago, and it was real nice. We had quesadillas, we had a tri-tip steak, morning, and we had everything. It was just awesome time. So I'd love to have all of you over and come on over and take a look at the house and say hi and see where the new, it's not really the new Casa del Green, because the Casa del Green is and has been what it is. And morning, but it's a matter of the new placement that God has for us. And of course, pray for this next Wednesday that the errant camper will be on their way. Bye-bye. Remember David Spade? Bye-bye. 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 Time to say bye-bye. And then we'll be able to get the place cleaned up, organized, and it's going to be awesome. No more excitement. All right, till tomorrow, this is Bob, loving you. Remember, struggle is okay. So struggle is okay. Love you. Bye-bye.